Happy Friday, everyone! Amazing and beautiful people, lovers of business agility and the Scrum way. Welcome to the Friday Live Agile. 76 episodes, 76 weeks in a row since I was exiled in Tulum. Isn't it amazing? And we're live on LinkedIn. Welcome, LinkedIn. Welcome, Twitter. Welcome, YouTube and Rumble. Please let me grow on Rumble. Give me some love. I'll be right with you. Just welcome. Get in. Get your latte. In my case, I've got my Caramello Freddo latte and the Scrum beer. We're going to talk a little bit about this. So, intro, it's a checked in. Come inside. Have a seat. Have a loungy seat. And I will be right with you after. I'll see people coming up. I love the counter right now. 21 people across the board already here on this Friday Live Agile. 76 week in a row. And I'm going to do a grid off starting August 18th. So maybe the last 2 Fridays of August. Don't expect anything unless my folks, Anna and Elizabeth, kind of push some kind of pre-recorded video. But I'm going to do grid off. What is a grid off? It's, oh shit, okay, sorry. I have an oh shit moment right now. Grid off means that you close every of your devices. I invite you and encourage you, if you go on vacation, especially with your family, with your children and everything, do it. Do it. It's healthy for the mind, it's healthy for the spirit. So let's do this milky rum.
That was easy.
Yes. So we seems to be live. And again, the experience on LinkedIn is still in a beta mode, and it's just Microsoft. So the user experience, the customer feedback that we're going to talk today, not really into this. So it's going to be really important to foster and refine it because the chat are not coming in. And what we're going to do today, because I'm going to do kind of a more tutorial, a more little seriousness of things. So we welcome you to chat whenever you want on this live, on this Friday, July the 22nd. And for those who rewatch it, especially on my growing YouTube channel, by the way, 76 episode, 576 subscribers, 22 more than last week. Thank you so much. Namaste, obrigado, muchas gracias, merci beaucoup. We are going to be a community of roaring agile. Yes, we have to be the lion. We have to be, so it's time. It's time to roar and welcome change. Transformation, evolution over transformation. That's my motto. So again, chat whatever you want. I will take the last 15 minutes of the hour to maybe open a Zoom, audio Zoom, like you could call in and exchange with me for the last 15 minutes. And I'm going to do a tour of the chat everywhere, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, also on Instagram. I think we have a couple of things there. So let's see it. So we are live here. Are we live on YouTube? So it's live. It's live and alive. We are live as usual on YouTube. So let me do a sound check on YouTube. So it's live. This is perfect. And my little Twitter now, little bird, little blue bird. How is the little blue bird going? And the music today again is from the D-Jet, from the Mediterranean, the Queenland Club. D-Jet. Yes, we are. Already a like on Twitter. Thank you so much. All right, then. So I hope everybody is doing all right. I will lower the music a little bit because I would like to concentrate and focus the Scrum way on what we are going to see. So let me just... All right, so I'm on the 29 people now watching on this beautiful day on the East Coast. I don't know. Tell me where you are in the comment below. Tell me if you're happy. Tell me if you're grateful. Again, like and share this to help me break the algorithm. It's always important. And yes, the Scrum mistress from Oslo, Finland, who actually at Christmas last year, she sent me a bottle of perfume, very nice. It's still, I'm wearing it right now. She wrote me last week to thank me about my craziness, and she sent me again some Satoshi, which is the smallest part of the Bitcoin. So thank you so much. I have to learn to say thank you in Norwegian though. But she's following me. She's growing as a Scrum Master. And by the way, I said Scrum Mistress. It's her name on Instagram, not me. No point intended here. So if you'd like to do like her on the YouTube and Rumble, the description of this video, you could go and PayPal me or give me a Bitcoin. Actually, there's no Bitcoin link below, but you have to contact me and I give you the only one peer-to-peer transaction. So thank you so much, Scrum Mistress from Oslo, Norway. And once again, I'm welcoming you. I'm Alexandre Frédéric Joly, an entrepreneur, an agilepreneur, a digital nomad, starting soon in 2030, next year again. And I'm your coach AF. No, it's not what you think it is. It's Agile with fun, because you have fun with my coaches and myself and the Agile Lounge. So today, we have a lot to talk about this backlog. I would like to propose you, if we have time, 7 anti-patterns that Scrum teams and product management team and organization of any size, for that matter, have made some anti-patterns. Anti-pattern. What is an anti-pattern? It's basically like at the Dear Real Agile, we call it fake, and the Agile War series, we are here to denounce this violation. So an anti-pattern, it's basically something that it's not going good for you. It's not a pattern of good habit or good mindset and doing things, being and doing things. You know, mindset being and habit. So here's the thing, my friend. And of course, in that series of the Dare Real Agile podcast, everything business agility, the Scrum way, very lean, product management over project, evolution over transformation, invitation based from Daniel Mizik, plus agreement based from yours truly, and the Agile Wars, because yes, we are at war. There's unfortunately right now too much people unsatisfied with my fellow Agile coach and consultant, a firm of any size. So this is not good, because for myself, I embarked in that 22 years ago this November in 1999, actually more than 22 years. It's amazing. I'm getting old. Maybe that's why I'm getting grumpy. Maybe that's why I don't know. But to tell you the truth, guys, I'm really happy and I'm here. Yes, to denounce stuff, but also to bring proposed value for us as a community. As I said in the intro, the great split. Yes, we are going to split. Those who just don't care about anything, those who are stuck in their ego, those who are just there for the money. They are not there for the value, the principle, the emancipation of others. So this is what I mean by the great split. Le grand écart. But I would like to be part of these transformation agents, these evolution people, to create safer and happier work environment, to transform the world of work, but the entire world for that matter. We need to evolve. We need to reach out the sky. We need to be better. We need to promote experiences, because this entire life that we do on this beautiful blue dot around the yellow sun, it's all about an experience. So could we have a nice experience together? Could we just be? Could we also accept others as they are and stop judging and stop being in this dark ego? And you'll see it's all related. Everything is connected. When you understand subsumption, you could understand the universe and the gods and goddess if you like. I don't care. So today, the backlog, yes, this backlog thing, it came to me because I did fire a client a couple of weeks ago. Of course, I'll never name my client unless it's kind of positive, constructive criticism, and we do a ritual together and we publish something as a winning thing. But in this case, it was going to fail because they don't understand Agile, don't understand Scrum and everything. So that's why, and they wanted to have like this, these too big backlog, but it's nothing about too big backlog, because before a backlog, before a value list to manage what needs to be done for your product or your solution, for your business value, we literally need, what is the first principle of Agile? How does Agile open? I'm not talking just about the manifesto. Manifesto, it's easy. It's uncovering new ways to work together and to produce value every day, blah, blah, blah. No. I am talking about this evolution because the manifesto, a backlog, anything is static. Everything is in movement. Everything is alive. So customer and team feedback, because as Agile is people first, experience based. We don't need no more just a product. We want to have an experience with the product, with the services. All right. If it's an app to reserve your hotel room, your flight tickets, going to the theater, to the Fantasia Festival, you have an experience from A to Z. So these features within the apps or the website have to work. And to work, you have to listen. Yes, pay attention. Listen a little bit. Shut up and listen. Listen to your customer. Because without customer, again, I'm telling you, you won't have a backlog because you won't have anything shit to deliver. Okay? And the team that does the work, listen to them as well. So that's already setting up the table just before we go to what is a backlog. It's the summer. We are the 22nd. How amazing it is. The Scrum Beer, it's usually every 2 months, but we had decided for vacation purpose, for anything this year, that this summer we might do an Agile Coach Circle for those who are interested. So again, on the YouTube and the Rumble video description, you'll have a link to contact us and subscribe to this Agile Circle, an Agile Circle of coactive coaching where it's kind of a lean cafe thing. We do it virtually to have people from all around the world, and we might have in-person type of thing at the Crew Collective if we do it. But if I have enough person, let's say about 15 people, let's do it before, of course, August 15th. But otherwise, the next Scrum Beer, where we are going to have another team, we're going to play some kind of game board. Scrum and Kanban game board. Yes. And that will be September the 22nd. So mark the date. We're going to announce it probably towards mid-August, because now we're going to take a break. We're going to make some short video for fun. We're going to prepare the new season that's starting in September. But September 22nd, it's a Thursday. It's going to be again in the old Montreal in-person IRL experience once again. With donation, and you bring your own beer. So mark the date, Thursday, September the 22nd, Old Montreal, Old Port. All right. So what is a backlog in Agile? Because that's the subject of today. We asked a question like, is your Agile backlog just a waterfall linear list? Because that's what I experienced with the client that I fired last week. Because they were not ready, they were not coachable, and this at every level, but especially at the executive level. And I think we are going to do a show with some of my colleagues at the Open Leadership Network to talk about the education of the C-level suite people and to understanding what's real Scrum and what is Agile, no matter the framework. And pay attention here. Agile is a mindset, it's an adjective, okay, to adapt continuously, to be flexible, to change things as we see fit from the customer and employee feedback. That's it. Common sense, guys. And so that's why we are going to. So what is a backlog? The purpose of a backlog. So, of course, Scrum kind of introduced it, but extreme programming have it. So it's again start all again with software engineer. And by the way, why we do call it this series Agile Wars? Because we are worried that 2001 will commence again if you don't pay attention, if you don't do evolution over transformation, if you don't do people over structure and process, if you don't do the engagement invitation base over imposition base. So if we continue like this, as I said, split, do like, because Agile is coming the new waterfall. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it disgusting, should I say? And I'm here to call out this. And for those organizations like Scrum Alliance, Agile Alliance, that they don't want to pay attention to it, they don't want to do education for the decision maker and everything, so long. We are going to do our next level agility stuff. We are going to do our next level anything but agile stuff. We are going to do, and we are going to be ready for this new mindset, this new economy, this new decentralized finance and everything. For the 2030, The real stuff, not the WEF stuff, huh? The World Economic Forum stuff. It's all bullshit. It's technocrat. It's inorganic. It's inhuman. We'd like to propose something human. We'd like to propose something with people interaction. We'd like to propose something with experience. We value the experience. We value your satisfaction. This is the real. This is the real Agile. That's why we say they're real Agile, the real McCoy. And it have to evolve and evolve and evolve as long as we get new information, as long as we get new ways, new ideas, new innovation. That is the purpose of even the backlog. And even though I did have some teams in the United States in the last couple of years that they don't have backlog, and as we did build with Enterprise Scrum for business agility, creating business agility was more like a value list of important things from the vision and the mission to do. Okay? So, what is a backlog in Agile? It's a list of items, okay? I don't want to make agnostically. It's a list of things that we'd like to achieve within different release. And the beauty of Agile is you have to reorder this, and we're going to see this like very soon. So, so remember one thing. The purpose of a backlog is to create the activation of any vision and mission for such a product, such a services, such a thing that you'd like to go out and release out for people to use. So, and the Agile way, held by the Scrum system that could create a specific framework for your software developing cycle or your product life cycle, it needs that customer and team feedback. This is the Agile way, okay? So let's go now. What are the 7 fake Agile backlog signs? Because in my experience of 20 some years, first as a customer experience designer, operator of customer pathway, value stream creator, and co-contributor. Before I forget, I'm sorry, it's live, so I just did a blooper. So just to define kind of objectively, I took a couple of texts that I found and what we kind of call in our Agile community that it's at war right now with the engineer, that it's at war with the business people. Let's call it still the Agile Consortium. That it's kind of the guardian of the Agile Manifesto as an artifact, an historical artifact. So basically, the kind of definition of a backlog, it's based on what is of the product backlog as described, not prescribed, described in the Scrum guide, that adapts to company of any size and any market on a customer experience and satisfaction base. So this is Agile Lounge, tented, objective proposition of a definition of a backlog. I said backlog because it might be not necessarily a product backlog, depending on what your company is offering. So that's why. So pay attention. A responsible proposed definition, a definition, not the definition. I did it from everything that you could find in the Scrum guide and any other kind of people who did say they're part of the consortium of Agile. So it's more like based on the product backlog description from the Scrum that adapts to companies of any size and any market, of any type of value streams and product, with customer segment, it's even better, for a better and smarter customer experience and satisfaction based on the quality first. And this is why I said, like, for that you definitely need your customer feedback. So the backlog is the single authoritative source for things that an enterprise and teams works on. But we'll see here. Don't be too static about it. We'll see it later. That means that nothing gets done that isn't in the backlog. Yes and no, you'll see. Any backlog must have its definition of done. Must. Nice to have. But it's important to have a definition of done, to agree on something, at least at the team level. Okay? And this is the business of the team. This is not the business of the owner or the product management or the sales or whatever. This is the business of those who do. Those who are you hire because of their skills to make shit happen.
That was easy.
Exactly. So Any backlog should have these acceptance criteria, replacing that gating process of the waterfall, replacing that sign-off process, because it will be a continuous planning, continuous refinement, continuous development of this backlog with the definition of them that should be adapted to new information we uncover. Okay? And the refinement of the item and kind of three layer of what is a backlog. So I love coffee, you know? Coffee. So let's start with the coarse grain. Coarse grain are defined objectively with my proposed definition of what is a backlog by value proposition. We have, and value proposition, I put it like this because it could be a business value, what will be in for the business, what will be in especially for our customer who come to our business, what will be the value on that, and what will be also the value for the engagement of the people, for the motivation of the people to create those product or those things. Okay, so value proposition, coarse grain. It's a big idea. Let's build something. So it's coarse grain in the backlog. So this will need refinement. This will need discussion. This will need the SME. This will need like a team, multifunctional team again, working together to refine this, to help the business owner and the product team make it happen. So from this idea of the value proposition, business value and everything, and the value stream all the way to this. And then the medium grain, after mostly discussion within the refinement, continuous refinement and planning of the backlog test and empirical process, you will come to a more specific solution and feature if you're in software development, but don't force too much on the feature. Ask your engineer first. Is it feature-based? Is it a mix of component-based and feature-based? How will they define the process and their software lifecycle for your product lifecycle? So just be very careful about that. Don't piss off engineer. You ask those big brain to work with you to help you put your product online or in the market. So ask them first. So that's why I said solution and feature, and nothing is mandatory here. It's on invitation. Invite yourself to have a great discussion. But that at this level, nevertheless, whether they choose a feature or the kind of the solution proposed, we have a medium grain. It's more clearer and everything. And we could maybe start doing prototyping and stuff. And then the tip of the iceberg of your backlog should be the user story. And user stories, yes, they are important because it's the best way to actually create this pattern of conversation from one of the 12 principles that I cherish so much. Myself, from the customer experience field all the way up to talking with IT and IT talking with me and software developer talking with me. A user story, it's a nice way to vulgarize things for non-technical people, and for technical people to also better understanding the business people. So a user story, it's just for that. It's not necessarily a kind of an artifact. And this we could do if you tell me in the comment below, if you'd like, we expand on it and do a capsule of a live show on the importance of user story attached to the vision and the definition of them. I will be more than pleased. But this is a tool that help activate this principle of having IT and business working in togetherness for the satisfaction of the client. So user stories and tasks, because it could be tasks that don't require, because maybe it will be between the IT people that with their language, with their patterns. So it's a specific technical task, it's a specific task. It could be a non-tangible task that we ask the sales or marketing to do, whatever. So now it's the fine grain because it's so small, it's so clear. We have the path, and then we agreed on how to do this, and then we do it, and then we sprint it if you do Scrum, or you put in your cycle and flow of work if you do CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development, with a kind of a DevOps culture or what have you. I don't care, but this is mean that it's kind of really ready to try and to make it done. And then you have to release every sprint. So we come to it. So that's in a nutshell what I will describe that what is the backlog in Agile. All right. So now let's jump in the 7 fake Agile backlog signs. So if you're like me, an enterprise Agile coach, coaching coaches, coaching product manager, coaching executive, coaching everyone in the organization and helping team achieve together, you will probably recognize those things. So One of the first fake Agile backlog sign is your backlog is never reordered. So if I'm walking into a team and because I don't do big assessment, I don't make my clients spend into assessment. We just have conversation. At first, we'd like to mingle with the team, with the stakeholders, and then we ask questions without them knowing that they are assessed. But because we need to understand the pain and gain and what they want to achieve. And what we discover sometimes is you could have a strong owner, a strong product or solution owner, someone who will decide what's in the backlog. So there's like two anti-patterns here. The backlog is never ordered, and on top of it, sometimes the same product owner that never want to order it, from coarse grain to fine grain, and just concentrate on the fine grain of readiness to sprint, they also forbid that anyone in the team or the organization put something in the backlog. So that's already like this, because if you'd like to be agile, real agile, you have to understand that maybe you have, the 3 layers of this pyramid or this iceberg of the backlog I just described before, coarse, medium, and fine. Yes, you should concentrate. And what is one of the principles of Scrum and even Agile? Concentrate on the work not done. So everything in a product backlog or in the enterprise backlog, it's not done. You'd like to do it. So that's why you will agree at some point to a definition of done with acceptance criteria to help also QA and other developers working together about what will be done. So if you never reorder your backlog according to new information, according to feedback that you receive from the customer or from other specialist or IT and software developer, there's a problem here. So it's a sign of anti-pattern, because the backlog refinement, it's at every level, every time, anytime needed. And then yes, you should remove item from the backlog with the rules of aging or not, because if it's not worth it, if we decide that it doesn't go through, forget about it, because we discover something else. So let's redo the user story, let's redo the task. So reordering your backlog, if you never do that, if the product owner refuses to do that or the business refuses to do that, there is a problem. It could be also the engineer that they don't want to do that. So that's mean that you have a waterfall kind of backlog. Your layers, I explained, became just phases in a Gantt chart. So that's the first sign. Second, features never remove a review. I just said that a little bit. So if you don't reorder and you don't my goodness, today. If you don't reorder, that's include prioritization. Even in French, I will have difficulty with it. The prioritization again of your element according to the new information and the feedback that you receive from your customer and your employees, which means that some feature are never remove a review. So you're very waterfallic thing, because most of the time at the end of a sprint, you should have released, you should have shown something in a demo or into an environment and get the feedback. And maybe some feature that are coming up are not any more relevant, so they should be removed or at least reviewed. So that's the second thing. And this is very for the techie guy, but nevertheless, the techie guy will not do it because they are misled by the Scrum Master. They are not supported by this servant leader, and they just do it. It's an anti-pattern, meaning that they still clack and this waterfallic things. 3, still the feature again, the feature usage matrix or OKRs. So again, this is management issue that will create these anti-patterns, because if your backlog never measure the future usage from your customer or your user, there's a problem, because the first metric in Agile should be the satisfaction of your client and the user experience. Okay? And so that should be so if the feature is never used, and if the feature that you spent so much time building is never used, it's kind of useless. So if you don't have uses matrix of that, and you don't remove it as the second anti-pattern I just explained, so there's a problem. So one of the suggestions here is, instead of having KPIs or fixed thing about the velocity and all that bullshit,
that was easy.
Use objective key result to build even towards your acceptance criteria, and to make sure that you will measure every component of your product usage. Okay. Number 4, as sign that your agile backlog is not so agile and it's fake. No new feature or product backlog items anytime. I just said that at the first thing. If you have a product owner or a product manager or a business owner who control everything, who centralize everything, and he says like, it's only me that could put an item in the backlog. So that's an anti-pattern. That is against the Scrum value. This is against even extreme programming agreement. Okay, because anyone in the team, if I discover something, then and this, if I think that a new feature could help me having a better experience with my phone or my computer or my application for payment or for ticketings, excuse me, but it have to be put in the backlog and the coarse grain, the ideation, the proposed value, and let's have a conversation about it. It's all about the interaction and people first. So when you see organization and teams that don't put any new feature or product backlog items anytime, I'm not talking about the sprint backlog here. I'm talking about like, and even the sprint backlog, we'll come to this maybe into a second part of this Agile Wars on management, of managing the backlog. But it's very important that you understand like being Agile is always reacting and proacting about something. We uncover new information, we uncover new things, so it should be there for discussion. That's why you have refinement session nowadays. That's not in the Scrum guide as described, but it's part of retrospective and review that will create it to refinement. So very important. New feature or new PBIs item that should appear anytime. And a backlog should be transparent and viewable by anyone. Keep it short, yes, but let's propose value to have solution and or feature, and then a user story. That's simple.
That was easy.
Thank you, Maurice. Number 5 of the 7 signs that your backlog is not that agile. Estimation for all stories. It's a waste of time. Don't waste the time and the capability and the capacity of your team doing estimation. If your business culture requires budgeting, give the budget for this, to make this happen, to make this product evolve, to make this solution evolve. It's no way that you're gonna lose time and estimation. At least when you do a release kind of planning or in the planning session or sometimes in the refinement session, you could have that conversation on the sizing using story points, not time, not hours or days. That's completely another anti-patterns. Why we did create this, and I'm wearing my shirt right now, number 8, the sizing, agreed on sizing, small, medium, large, or the Fibonacci sequence, and make a put in your acceptance criteria. If it's like too big, let's continue refine it, and let's not take it, let's not commit to it, because it's going to be slavery anyways. So estimation, it's a waste of time. Just agree on how much intake of stories that you're going to do according to a size of it, okay? So if you manage your backlog with estimation and times and effort and stuff, it's a waste of time. It's a sign of fakeness, of a fake product backlog. Number 6, no release after sprint. What the fuck is that? I mean, did you know that right now Amazon Logistics, I think they call it, they release every fucking 2 hours. They release fixes. They release like anything that they receive as automatic feedback from customer from all platforms. Okay, so I'm not saying like every organization should do that, but I'm just giving you an example that the release of a thing is a kind of an achievement. And if something that you'd like to see, and if you cannot do it in production like like these big GAFAM do, at least do it in a very real staging that you'll be able to gather feedback from other stakeholders, most importantly, the customer and the user of that application or that software or that solution. So it's very important that at least within the end of the sprint or at the end of the sprint that you release something. And I'm not advocating to do a demo, especially if you have a 1-week sprint, depending on your context. I understand that. But basically, if the product backlog management, you say you work in Agile and you don't do a release to get your customer feedback in the feedback loop of this backlog, and prioritization and reordering of the backlog, I have a problem. This is not Agile. This is a sign of fakeness. And the last and 7th one, it's no outcomes or satisfaction measure. I told you, the primary measure of success in an Agile team is the outcome to the customer. which means quality and satisfaction. If they're satisfied, that means there's quality to it. And if they're not satisfied, we should revise the outcomes and do a retro engineering on the feature. Maybe we have to remove that feature. Maybe we have to review that feature. Maybe we have to look back at the architecture. Maybe everything. This is the golden nuggets of being agile. And you do it rapidly within a cycle of 1, 2, 3 weeks, or in complex other environment, like when I used to work in space for the space agency. Of course, we had sprint of 2 months. Yes, 2 months, but even within the 2 months, we have a lot of review. So this is really important. It have to be outcome based and upon the satisfaction, which is the quality. All right. So usually we could take a break. I don't know, but let's jump into the 6 real agile. And I see about 36 people watching live on this beautiful Friday, the 22nd. By the way, as I said before, we are about July, August, 2 months away from our next Scrum beer, which is mark the date again, Thursday, September the 22nd. I hope you'll join us. We're going to play game board. Product owner, I will bring my game board of product owner, how to refine user stories and technical tasks. And I will have also probably the Get Kanban board again, because it's been requested from my fellow Agile coach, and hopefully we will still be able to meet in person in the old Montreal. And by the way, if you'd like what I say, and if you'd like the way I of course, here I'm Coach AF with the Agile Wars and but of course, I'm really a professional things, and so I really invite you to, especially YouTube and Rumble again, and the comment below, the description of this video. You will have all the link to book your free discovery call with us. And I think that's going to be very amazing. And I would like to remind you, especially on YouTube, yes, I'm growing about 20 new subscriber a week, but I discovered that, and the stat is about 77% of you are just watching it for about 25 minutes average, which is great, thank you. But subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be able to join us and have an interaction. So among the 30 some people watching live right now, wherever you are on social media, I could open a Zoom if you tell me right now in the chat. And if you watch it, if you watch the rewatch, so please in the comment, ask your question, make your proposition, and give me some constructive criticism. I'm always eager to improve myself, because I'm a real Agile person as well. And if you'd like to become one of our satisfied Agile clients, visit us at agile-lounge.com to contact us and take, as I said, your free discovery call. So that was the break. And this will be also on the Dare Real Agile podcast for the end of this month, I think. Yes, it's decided next Friday. Expect to download it and do a jogging with it. So, oh, excuse me. Am I... Sorry about that, guys. Here we are, because I have 6 in mind. So now, we talked about the 7 anti-pattern, the 7 fake signs that your backlog is not so agile. So now, let's propose and let's teach you objectively what are the 6 real agile backlog ways. That could be more, that could be less, depending on your context. Of course, here today, it's a live show, it's a podcast, very holistic for everyone. So please bear with me. Don't tell me in the comment, where we have that. Yes, actually, yes. Tell me in the comment about your experience, about what will make it more agile and bring business agility into your backlog. So the first one I did identify within my experience, and especially working on product management coaching, product coaching, everyone could see and add item in the backlog. This is very important. Even if you look the description in the Scrum Guide of 2020, we kind of promote this. We promote this fact, not an opinion, this is a fact. Everyone, I should have wrote, should see all the items in the backlog, engage in conversation, engage of proposed value and solution management, and they could add and remove items in the backlog. But of course, I think my best real Scrum team and very agile mindset teams, everyone could add things in the coarse grain type of section. We have a conversation, but of course, if it doesn't happen to a certain degree, or there's no attention, there's no like kind of nobody votes for it, nobody wants to do something, and it seems not to be important if we have a clear vision, again, if we have a clear thing. So of course this item should be removed as well. So when we said anyone could add items, to remove the items, it's another story. It should be a kind of, do we have at least a conversation with the key person, the key stakeholders that could help us make this proposed value evolve into a solution or feature, into something that needed. Sometimes it could be quicker. So that's my tips for Scrum Master out there or Scrum Coach out there. When you see a couple of your engineers talking about a feature or talking about a component base that, and now they try something and it's not working in staging and this and that, and they say like, oh, we should remove these items and add those one instead and correct it, encourage it. Go seek the help of a business analysis, of a strategic planner. Bring people, like, do like a very real daily on the spot session and kill it right now. Make it happen in the backlog. Do a quick refinement with the specific stakeholders and test it. This is agility, guys. I love it when I see it on the floor of organization. Nowadays, of course, with the virtual work, it's on Slack. That start on Slack. You don't necessarily see on Slack, but if you have a great sense, if you are a great servant leader, you should invite them to invite you into this, and then you call the shot. Not too structured, but just like have a task force, spike team working on it. So everyone could and should see all the items and add any items on the backlog. So that's one first real sign that now your backlog is agile. Second one, have difficulty today. Reprioritize from feedback and new data. Yes, you could receive feedback. You have to listen to this, but you have also data. We talked about feature usage before as an anti-pattern. Now, a great reflex that see the maturity of an agile team is because they constantly reprioritize it from the feedback they receive at the release or the demo, the review, and the new data they receive, and either real data stats automated or the failure or whatever that will convert exactly the feedback, the real experience of the user. So that's really important. So you always reprioritize your backlog items according to those two key elements, and that you have to change your objective key result according to the new data you receive and the feedback you got. Number 3 of a real agile backlog, it's remove useless features. Could we say it again? Remove useless feature. Remove things that nobody use. Remove things or technical tasks that nobody move. Remove the bugs that been open, you can never produce it, and it stays there for nothing in your backlog.
That was easy.
It's fucking common sense. It's nothing to do with agile, but we have to repeat it. Remove stuff from your backlog that are useless, are solved, or you don't get any feedback, you don't get any data. Okay, or it's age. You have it for 1 year and the requester never came back to it. Remove it. Number 4 of what is a real agile backlog, a real way, agile way of doing things. It's you have to validate feature impact. Again, the feature or the solution you propose, according to the user story and the user feedback and the client feedback, you have to validate that. And how you do that? In the product review session, or any time that you might discover something in working in collaboration between developers, QA tester, and analysts. Okay, so if you have a team within your organization that says they do Scrum or they do Agile, and they never validate the feature, the impact of that feature, that's not Agile. That's not a proper backlog management either. Number 5 of the 6 real sign that your backlog is agile is you release every sprint over the demo. Let me explain. Once again, when we teach the Scrum Foundation, it's described. We describe that we have 4 ceremonies, including the product review or the sprint product review, whatever. That will be a session where you invite the customer to get the feedback. When you invite the user, the business, everyone is at the table and you discuss. It's kind of an extra review of architecture, review of the product, review of the feature, everything that we just spoke already. So tell me, Do you think it's prescribed to do a demo every 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, depending to your sprint time box cycle? Maybe not. Because in the planning, you have to agree with the capacity and the capability of demoing. But again, if you release every sprint, you could at least show what you have released at least in staging. If we are keeping it into software development, application development. Okay, and the real demo stuff should not be a burden for your team to do something special or something more. So that's why I said over a demo. Because the demo more time, like when I work with especially younger developers and engineers, they say like, Fredo, we prefer the DevOps cycle anyway. So more and more, that's the thing. I think Scrum should be configured to the needs of this software development lifecycle that in accordance with the product lifecycle, and to make sure that you release every cycle. Is you call it a sprint, call it a sprint if you like, iteration, increment, whatever. So be really flexible. This is not static. I had like 5 years ago embark a couple of team into Scrum, developing new feature for a product. Nowadays they call me again to say like, I think we reached a point that we don't need to do this demo because we release every week, and we have a group of beta tester within our customer to make sure they provide feedback right away. So you see, that's another way, and I love it. This is real agile. This is real agile because they adapt to situation, they create something in. And so, because otherwise it's coming a Scrum bot toxic zombie where you have to do everything like a religion. No, it's not. And I remind you, Scrum is a system that you could create your framework, and that framework is not static. It should evolve according to the uncovering of new information, new data. And especially if you'd like to have feedback and new data, you have to release every sprint to modify your product backlog. Okay? And the number 6 and last that I see with my experience of a real agile backlog, it's you have to commit to outcomes. You have to have a commitment on all sides, business and IT. But again, you commit on outcomes, so you should have your definition of done with acceptance criteria really clear and be able to change it, modify it according to the new data, again, the new feedback you receive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I don't know, you're 36 watching right now on this live. And again, if you rewatch it starting tomorrow on YouTube and Rumble, please tell me in a comment your questions, your comment, your constructive criticism. And what about you? If you're a Scrum Master or a Scrum Mistress or an Agile Coach, how do you experience this? Do you have the same 7 anti-patterns? Do you have the same 6 really good way of teaching your team to make sure that they are really agile and gaining maturity to it? Do you get the customer feedback? Do you have access to user often? Do you care of the team feedback? Remember the story? I put a short video on my YouTube channel about like Agile sucks and so do you, coach, from an architect to Daniel Mizik in the bathroom. So the message is there. Team feedback, importance of you hire an engineer, you hire an architect, you hire someone like very bright to help you produce your product or services, and you never pay attention to their feedback. You never ask them a question. And if they are there to propose something, you said like, hold on a second. No, this is an anti-pattern, as I said, like, because a backlog is there to make it everything visual like we'd like to do. It doesn't mean that we're going to do everything. So this is why in the definition I provide you at the beginning of that show, it's not necessarily like everything in the backlog should be done, because you have to remove things from the backlog. Remember that? You have to measure your feature usage and your OKRs definition. You have to make sure that you could have new feature. This is an anti-pattern, so I said no, but it should be new feature or PBI items. Don't waste your time in estimation. You should agree, calibrate your team and yourself to at least a sizing effect of how much you could chunk and do into a certain time before release. So really, that's what I wanted. So if you liked it, please like this video, bumble it on Rumble, share it to everyone to inspire them. Let's grow our community together. Let's engage in a conversation. Let's go through that age of imposition together, proposing invitation over imposition. So this is all the meaning of the Agile Wars. Is not because I'm a warmonger, but when I pay attention, when I listen to all the people, they do things, they deliver shit for you guys at the business ownership. It's very like we are going to lose it. And I'm telling you, if you're not stopping right now this imposition, this one size fits all, this kind of robotic zombie way of doing agile, and especially with Scrum, and you apply it like a stupid nonsense, whatever, 2001 will commence again! And it will not be an Agile Manifesto 2.0 or what have you bullshit things. No, it's going to be this great split. The real high potential individual like me that want to make business, that want to make customer happy, that want to make people happy, that want to preserve the planet, that want to be real diverse and inclusive. This is going to be us, the real agile people that will survive this next decade, that will go away and above this crisis we're in. So, thank you so much, beautiful and amazing people. Remember that you are a powerful person, you are a beautiful person, and you are free to be whoever you want it to be. I remember that. And you are free to do whatever you want, but we have to do this in togetherness and mutual respect of one another. On that, have an amazing weekend. Have a beautiful weekend. Coach F is signing off. See you next Friday, the 29th. And for my jogger out there, thank you so much for your comment, your letter of appreciation, your Bitcoins and everything. And yes, this show today will be available for download next Friday morning on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere we are. It's amazing. Samuel Bal, I salute you. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Cheers.